You think you have a choice? Think again. What if this reality is a simulation and you're the player and the observer, and you're running on this programming, and this programming is based on your childhood, your ancestral trauma, beliefs, and societal conditioning. And this programming influences your choices and your decisions. So in a way, do you really have a choice? Or are you running on autopilot based on this programming? Now, there's nothing wrong with this, because through this programming, you can yield amazing results in certain aspects of your life. And other times, this programming can lead to results that you don't prefer, or maybe a lot of painful events. And maybe you find yourself even stuck in a karmic loop in certain aspects of your life, be it in relationships, self-worth, or your job, whatever it is. And this karmic loop is what I call a manifestation of this programming. Now, the good news is that you can always change and rewire this programming by, number one, having awareness that you have this programming. That's number one, first step. Whatever programming beliefs that are leading you to certain results that you're getting in your different areas of your life. And number two is to know that you always have a choice to reprogram this programming. And knowing that you always have, I would call it the free will to change that. Because by doing that, you'll have a sense of agency. And number three, it is to examine your identity, meaning that we like to self-identify as our body, who we think we are by our name, our job, our experiences, all the things that define us, or even our mental constructs that all defines who we think we are, the I, the identity. What I'm suggesting or proposing is to expand beyond that, this self-identity, to redefine that as the consciousness, pure consciousness, because by doing that, you become the observer in this simulated reality. When you become the observer of that, you start taking a step back from just being the player, and you start having a laugh about things. And you start realizing that it's this particular code that's lead to particular outcomes in your life. And by being this consciousness, you can then start realizing that, I can actually change it. And for one. And for two, you start becoming more detached from the game. And when you start becoming more detached from the game doesn't have you. The game doesn't get you. The only issue, entity, and they get too self-absorbed in this game, in this simulated reality, and they make themselves too serious. And when you're able to realize that you're also the observer and the player, you can then play the game in a lighthearted way, and in a way that actually positions you to win this game in your own defined parameters. Because the game, also, when you realize that this is a game, you can then actually break out of this game and realize the limits of this game. For more, stay tuned on this Instagram channel, on my Substack email, and I'll talk to you soon.